Oh, hi. Yo. Sup? Oh, hey, I saw you.
I'll always remember the bus stop 169F, the bus stop right outside the street of my grandparents' house. When I was 9 years old, in the summer ending my 4th year of elementary school, I had stayed at my grandparents' house over the entire vacation. What started as a long, boring summer holiday trapped in a big, stuffy house soon became a special and magical experience for a young, curious boy. I would obsessively take 169F at 8:30 a.m. every day because I could see her. Despite being such a young age, I was convinced that I was in love. I never knew her name and I'd forgotten how I met her. But when I say met, I use the word pretty loosely. Every day I lie to my grandparents and say I'll be going over to a friend's house to practice for a dodgeball tournament. The era was the early 90s, so parenting wasn't as rigid as it is today. A kid could be a kid. Walk on the street, chew some bubblegum, and try to sneak into an R-rated movie. The times were simpler. And each day that would be my routine. Run as fast as I could to the bus station at 8:27 a.m. and take the 169F toward the subway station. The station right after mine is usually when she gets on. She was truly beautiful, and not in that sexy or revealing sort of way. Her skin was white with a red blush of undertone, long brunette hair followed by pure white clothing, expressive eyes, and a smile that killed. I guess, at the time, she must have been around 22, probably on her way to her new job. I think once she might have somehow glanced in my direction. I blushed. One night I had went to the zoo downtown with a group of friends. Most of them had their own rides or lived pretty close to the subway area. I, on the other hand, lived almost at the other end of town. So I took 169F towards the opposite direction I usually take, the direction home. As I got onto the 169F, there were almost no one on board. I checked the clock, 9:19 p.m. on a Tuesday night. The dwindling number of people got less and less as I got closer to my stop. At about the halfway point, she gets on. It was her. I was shocked, surprised. I instantly sat up. She sat about 3 rows in front of me in a single seat. I sat behind her and looked at the rest of the bus. There was no one here but us. This could finally be my chance of talking to her for the very first time. I got up and prepubescent bravery took over me. I decided to sit on the other side across from her. Although both of us were looking ahead, maybe she would see me from her peripheral vision of her left eye. We were side by side. Maybe I should pretend to be lost on the bus. Maybe I should just go over and say that she's beautiful. Come on, man. I thought about this scenario over and over in my mind. This was my chance. I took one look over, and then I froze in horror. Because the outside of the bus was completely shrouded in darkness, and the inside of the bus was brightly lit. The windows acted as reflections. When I looked over to my dream girl, her image in the window did not match her. I'm not saying the face reflected in the window did not belong to her, but the expression on the face did not match. In reality, the girl had a neutral, resting face. But the girl in the image, although obviously being the exact same person, had her mouth wide open and her tongue hanging down from her mouth. I thought it might have been delusion from the reflection, but it also seemed that her entire face and her tongue was elongated to an inhuman level, stretched. I looked closer and realized that her body looked exactly the same, the exact same proportions. It was only her face that had been distorted, almost like a horse with her tongue hanging down all the way to her lap. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. The girl was normal. The image was not. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. The girl was normal. The image was not. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. The girl was normal. The image looked at me. That was the stop she had to get off on. At this point, my face was completely white and I avoided all eye contact. As she got off the bus, I could almost feel her smile at me for the very first time. That was the last time I took 169F. Actually, ever since that year, I was hesitant and resistant to sleep over at my grandparents' house altogether. I soon got my driver's license and avoided taking buses if possible. Even till this day, I refuse to look at window reflections in the middle of the night.